This is my attempt to walk 2 k's from my house in an easterly direction. Got my compass and I'm going to track it, so we'll see what happens.
In November 2021, Tom from Walthamstow, London, UK,
and Paul from Port Willunga, South Australia, decided to walk for 2 kilometres from their house to see what they would find.
Tom went in as easterly direction as possible.
Paul went randomly.
Okay, here I am. I'm ready to start the great 2 kilometre walk, and who knows what we're going to find.
So I'm going to turn down Brookfield Avenue, as that's the first easterly street I can take.
So here we are, walking down the suburban streets of Port Willunga. I can go east, down East Street, or maybe I can go straight ahead down street with no name, Church Street.
This compass is a bit odd, but I am heading east right now, apparently, according to this. Here's a nice camper van, beautiful maroony red.
Just round this corner, I can see a traffic cone. That's not exciting in itself, but it signifies some construction work. Now, if I just look over here to the left, I'm going to see a massive house being built. Oh yeah. Check that out. What do you reckon that is? It's a giant stone ornament, and look, there's one on that side. So you can see it's the entrance to a rather grandiose driveway.
Okay, we've turned onto another road. I don't know what it's called, but we're kind of still going east. Damn, they could have built these on straight lines. Would have been a lot easier. What's the best way to go here? So I've got an option to go down Brook Road or over there. Actually, I might go over there. I think I'm going to be closer to going east if I go over this little, what do you call these things? Blocked up roads. I don't know what you call them. Low traffic networks, maybe that's it.
The houses here are very grandiose, a lot of them. It's quite a rich neighbourhood. There's a fancy looking gate. Now I'm pretty sure there's no one here because A, I can't see anyone, but B, because I happen to know that this property is owned by a building company or something, and they use it for like executive retreats, and they just basically come out and hang out here and go to the beach, I guess, and use that very fancy looking pizza oven that you've got down there.
I'm not sure which way I should go. I think I'm going to go left, because I think I get to a more easterly road more quickly. We're going up Walthamstow Road. It's just got a touch of north in it again, so I might go to the right here and attempt to stay on an easterly direction. Okay, here's the fork, but does it take us east? Let's have a look. Well, it's better than nothing.
Check out these bins. Yeah, that's not really why I'm looking at this area, but there's the bins. But look, what we have here is a tennis court. You know, it doesn't really look like it's very usable. So there's a tennis court. Obviously no one plays tennis because there's no net. It's covered in pine needles. Or maybe when summer comes, they're going to sweep it up, clear away the pine needles, and have a wonderful game of tennis. Hard to say. It's actually number 11.
Let's carry on up Walthamstow Road. We are still heading pretty much east, which is good. Wow. And here we have front post charger. That's the future, apparently. It's a pretty flawed future, I imagine.
Look, it's sold. This is the house next door to the tennis court. I don't think this is the tennis court house. But look, it's Wine Coast. So where we live now is the Wine Coast. And that's because there's wine and there's coast, fairly obviously. So obviously estate agents have to have a fancy name for every area, and this area is Wine Coast. So there you go. So I assume that Alison Blight, who has sold this house, works for that estate agent. And this looks like the gate. It says beware of the dog on the front. It's got a padlock on it. Probably, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see anything in here.
This path into Epping Forest, look. St. Peter's Path. We are at 1.23k. Oh, what is going to happen up ahead? So this is still pretty much east. That's a church there, don't they face? Well, they sit on an east-west directory. And so we've come to a road and a crossing, which is kind of easterly, which is pretty good. This is a big road. This kind of goes up to the North Circular, M11, M25, getting out of London quickly kind of thing. One of the good reasons of living around here is you can get out quick.
Okay, we're just going to look at this house now, because this is an example of a house that I think looks really nice, you know, like it's a nice cottage, it's green, it's not overstated, it looks quite cute. I'm sure it's a holiday home like everybody else's, but it's a nice contrast to the huge mansions that you have around here. You know, it's the sort of house that perhaps I could live in. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it does look a bit kind of overgrown and so on and so forth, but it's definitely a kind of more modest type of house on this very nice tree-lined avenue that we're progressing down.
So this bit, I don't know if I got that last, but this bit is called Gilbert Slade, this bit of the forest, and the bit before the road crossing is called the Rising Sun Woods, because there used to be a pub called the Rising Sun. Okay, this track looks difficult now. Okay, so we want to kind of go over there. This path might just take us where we want to go. I honestly don't think I've been here before.
So here we are on the Esplanade. Now this is the main road that runs along the coast from Port Willunga down to Sellex Beach in the south. So these are the types of kind of houses that get built here. They've got sea views and big balconies. Obviously a lot of them are used for holiday homes. This particular one I find to be quite an ugly monstrosity. But of course the reason they're all here is because when you come this way, you have this beautiful coastal area here. I'm at this lookout here, so I'm coming over to have a look. And so down there is a whole bunch of cliffs, these beautiful brown kind of hilly things, and then you've got water there, and then right the way around you can see down into this direction you've got the two beaches at the back there. That's Port Willunga Beach and Maslin Beach.
I'm not sure I can get through that, so I have to stick to this path, which is genuinely a path I've never been on before, which is kind of quite good. Oh, it's still kind of showing I'm going east. Oh, we've got a little bit of a watercourse. Who's this? I don't know who this is. I think it's probably too small to be named. 169, so we're kind of getting up to our 2k. The path carries on. Look at this. Oh, I think we're behind Forest School, which is a private school in the area. Very posh Forest School. Been there since the 1800s or something, maybe even longer than that.
Okay, well here I am, a bit further down the coast. Behind me is north, and in front of me is south. And I'm going to walk along the Esplanade for a little while, taking in the coastal scenery. Then I'm going to turn into the suburb, see what exciting things we can find down there. This is Wednesday in November. It's a beautiful spring day. It's been raining for 4 days, but now it's not, and it's about 24 degrees. So what better time to explore the suburbs? Look, there's another really big, fancy, massive house that's clearly just about being finished built. Probably like 3 months ago, there was a completely different house there. It's kind of ridiculous and wasteful, but they pretty much just buy the house, knock it down, and then build a new one right on top of it because they want the house that they want. That's how it goes around here.
Man, this is almost intriguing. We've still got this watercourse next to us, but I don't know what it is. I might have to double back. Oh, but no, there's still a path. Look at that. It's a notable path, just about. Whoa, it's muddy. So here we are, at the end of a path. Oh, I'm worried I'm going to get muddy feet. I should have put my boots on. We're at 1 kilometre 80. East is over there. I guess I should try and get across here. This could be a disaster. Oh, I know where I am. This is the boggiest part of the whole forest.
This is 1 and a bit kilometres from my house, and that's the sea, that's the cliffs, all fairly self-explanatory. You might be able to make out the buildings in the background there, which is Moana. And if you just carry on down that coastline, you will end up at Adelaide, about 30 kilometres away. So it's time now to say goodbye to the ocean. I'm going to turn inland in the hope of a extremely exciting 2 kilometre event, and so I'll see you there. Okay, I'm about to go down Hunt Street into the suburbs. Undoubtedly, when I film in here, people are going to think that I'm a robber or casing the joint or look at me funny. So I hope there's nobody in here, but there's bound to be a few people. Anyway, this is Hunt Street. This is another big, huge, fancy mansion on the waterfront. This is the way into the suburbs.
Oh shit. Alright, I'm gonna have to go through here. Going through here is going to slightly falsify my distance, I'm afraid. But I am wearing trainers like an idiot. Oh shit.
Okay, so that's a pretty nice looking house. Again, I'm only 1 block in. I stopped here because there's a pile of furniture and stuff there which is just being given away for people to take, and there was a kid on a bike and he was carrying something on his shoulder, and it looked really cool, him cycling along, but actually he's way too fast, and so in fact all I've got to show you now is an empty street. But if you'd like to imagine, just down this road there's a kid on a BMX carrying like a table football thing on his shoulder with one hand, weaving and ducking and diving in and out the driveways. That's what I saw.
So, in interesting news, east seemed to move. Well, I got lost and stopped following my compass direction. Oh, no. Okay, this is ropey as. The whole forest is so waterlogged over the whole winter. What are we, November, mid-November? And it's already waterlogged. And it stays like this until like May. It just gets trashed, especially with the lockdown. So many people walking in it, people like me walking everywhere, and you end up with these big puddles and mud, and they're deep and you can't get through them. Look at this.
It's kind of a bit eerie walking down here because obviously no one ever walks around here. There's not even any pavements because this is the land of the car, and this is just kilometre after kilometre of big wide suburban roads, big driveways, cars, no people. I'm actually walking in the middle of the road, you see, and I'm not worried that any car is going to come and run me over because no one's coming around here. Maybe just a kid on a scooter. That's about it, really. I bet he wonders what I'm doing. Do you think he'll wait for the camera? I don't reckon he will. G'day. Okay, we're showing east in this direction, which is good because it's away from the puddles. I've already got my trainers trashed. 1.94. We're gonna hit a massive great fence. Oh man. There we go. We're kind of heading east directly. What have we got? So here we are in the forest, and there's a huge fence and a huge wall behind it, and that's east, and we only need to go another 0.4k and we're at 2k. Maybe there'll be more excitement. So far it's just kids on bikes and scooters. Maybe I should have stayed by the ocean. I mean, I don't know what I expected to find, but you know, I thought these suburbs would be more kicking. Well, that's a kind of interesting looking house. As you can see, pretty much every house there is around here just looks completely different from all of the other houses. So this one across the street, look at that, it's blue. And then this way, oh, there's a pedestrian over there. How bizarre is that?
So here we are by the Berlin Wall of the Epping Forest. And I don't know where the edge is. So I think let's try to go down here. We're going along. Oh, it's pretty ropey. A lot of holly. Can you see anything? I can't. Oh, I fear this is going to be our 2k point. Oh, hold on, look at these swamps.
Next up, it's Helen Avenue, complete with barking dog. So far I've avoided all the nasty barking dogs. There's quite a lot around. Obviously this one thinks I'm too close to its house. But do I care? No, I don't. So I'm going up down here, down Helen Avenue. Right here we have an empty lot. Look at that, all ready to plonk a nice giant big house on. Or maybe not. It's not for sale, so who knows?
Well, east is directly the other side of this fence. Oh, some kind of sports ground here. Yeah, we're not going to get there. So, there we go. This is 2k.
Check this out. We've got flowers. Yep, flowers. And foundations. So look, they've started this house. This is going to be a big house. This is ending up to be a tour of the big houses and partially built big houses of Port Willunga. So nice. Is that a rose? I reckon it's a rose. So this is just like any other street. Big trees, big houses, foundations.
So this, unfortunately, is my slightly false 2k, heading as easterly as I can from my house. So it took us through some housing estates in Walthamstow, up a hill, up a Walthamstow road, up to Epping Forest, which is on the top of that hill by St Peter's in the forest, the church, across the road into the forest, and across the forest, across Gilbert Slade, across a great big swampy land in the middle of Gilbert Slade, and it took us to this fence, and that's it.
All right, here I am, the world famous 2 kilometer mark. It's a bit of a letdown, but you know, what can you do? I'm in a suburb. Behind me is some cars. I'm just going to pan around and give you the full amazing 360-degree experience of the 2 kilometer point. This is the street. It's 2 kilometers from the house. What can we see? Caravan, very popular in Australia. Red cars, very popular in Australia. Big vehicles, also very popular in Australia. Not much going on. Another house. That's a big house. We're still not that far from the sea. Another car. The only thing that's slightly different from the whole of the rest of this suburb is right down here. Yes, here in the middle of nowhere, would you believe, there is something called yak or Zach, and they will do tail light tinting, hydro dripping and UV protection. So, you know, if I needed some UV protection or some headlight resto, I'd be in the right place.